Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And today's video, I wanted to go over some of the Blu-rays and DVDs that I've reviewed on the channel. And I've been doing them kind of alphabetical order. So I've covered the movies that I have in the A category and the B category. Anyways, or alphabetization, whatever you want to say. Anyway, so I just kind of wanted to go through them for anybody that hadn't seen any of those reviews and kind of just briefly talk about each one, just showing what I have in my collection anyway. So tune in for that on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing well here on Tuesday, kind of almost afternoon, evening here in Kansas. I already shot one video today doing my contest winner, so check that out to see who won my contest for my push 100 subscribers, and congratulations to the winner there. View that to see who won. Anyways, and I just again, today's my mom's birthday, so happy birthday, Mom. And I'm gonna be at my parents' for the later part of this week and weekend mostly, so I'm gonna be pretty busy. I won't be able to make too many videos till next week. I'll see when I get time. But yeah, so I want to do one more video talking about something I wanted to share on the channel. Some people show their collection, their Blu-ray DVD collection, and I don't have a huge collection like some people have. I know Jacob Martin says he doesn't even know how many he has. He probably has like 1,000. And there's other guys that constantly are buying tons of Blu-rays all the time. And I'm sure they have 1,000, I don't have that much. I have like close to 160, I think, maybe somewhere around there, Blu-ray DVDs. And so one of the things I want to do on the channel is kind of go through, because these are movies that I really like and that I want to recommend to anybody who hadn't seen them. And so one of the things I want to do on the channel is kind of go through my Blu-rays and kind of review the movie and the Blu-ray itself, and like what special features are on there and commentaries and the overall value of or what I think of the overall Blu-ray DVD. I do love getting Blu-rays and DVDs. Some people just do streaming, because streaming's, and I do probably mostly streaming because streaming's so easy. I mean, when you got Netflix or Disney Plus or HBO Max, Amazon Prime, a bunch of these different streaming channels, you get quite a bit of movies and TV to view. It's so much easier just to click on that than have to actually get up, put a DVD or Blu-ray in and do it that way. And it's easy to watch and then pause it, come back at another day. It makes it a little bit easier on streaming. But I still love getting the physical media. I still love looking at it, collecting it. I guess I like collecting things, and Blu-ray and DVDs I kind of call as a kind of somewhat collection. I also love watching the special features and audio commentaries. Is kind of one reason why I love a lot of the Blu-ray and DVDs I get. I love getting that extra information out of it, which is really cool. So yeah, so I covered the A's, the letter A and the letter B, and I kind of have my own. I don't know if other people do this. I guess some other people do this. I like to put my stuff in kind of alphabetized order, so it's easy to get to. If I want to look for something, I can kind of know where it is on my DVD shelf. But I don't know if I do it the way everybody does it. I kind of have my own system, how I do my alphabetizing, which I'll get to at some point, I guess, when I get to some areas. So I just wanted to kind of show what I have, just give a quick thought on the stuff I have anyways, and don't have, like I said, a lot, so not as much as some other people have a ton of Blu-rays and have to just go through them section by section. But the first movie I have is A Hard Day's Night. I have on DVD. I kind of love this cover here overall as it opens up. And there you got the Fab Four and Grandpa, very clean Grandpa and all this. And man, yeah, I just love this DVD set. Tons of special features on here. I really enjoy it. No audio commentaries, but if you're a Beatles fan, this obviously is a must-have, and I'm a huge Beatles fan. So this is a movie I've enjoyed since I was a kid. Of course, I love the music that's in it. It's very silly. I'd say last time I watched it, I kind of thought, man, they probably overdid it on the silly part. I wish they could have maybe come back on that, but the Beatles aren't actors, so I mean, silly maybe was the best kind of comedy they can do, kind of just very silly comedy. So if you're not a Beatles fan, I'm not sure how you enjoy these as much, but if you're a Beatles fan, I mean, it's my favorite Beatles movie, for sure. I have the DVD, and so I didn't feel like I really needed the Blu Ray. You can get the Blu Ray, but I was like, I kind of enjoy this DVD so much in the way it's packaged, so I'm just keeping it that way. Let's see, keep going wrong. Okay, the second one I got is A Mighty Wind, a mockumentary by Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy. It's the third one they did together. Christopher Guest directs it, along with Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, and For Your Consideration. Kind of the four movies they made together, where Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy kind of wrote these movies, even though there's a lot of improvisation. This is probably my favorite of theirs, though. It's very close between this and Best in Show. But I love the music. It's folk music, and I'm a big folk music fan. And these are fake folk music groups, but they're just as good as real folk music group. And that's what I love about it so much. I'm like, I love the soundtrack to this. It's good as anything that was made in the 60s. So it's so amazing that they made fake bands that are just as good as like the real bands or real folk singers of the time period. And yeah, very funny. I think there's some good dramatic elements to it, more than some of his other stuff, but I absolutely love A Mighty Wind. Here's one of my top animation movies, Aladdin. Very big in my childhood. I saw this in theater in 92, I believe it came out, and I absolutely loved this movie and begged my parents to go see it again. Went and saw it again. Genie is the favorite like Disney character ever made. Robin Williams, absolutely brilliant as a genie. I mean, yeah, as you know, he just riffed the whole time, and then they had to animate around a bunch of stuff on the cutting room floor because Robin Williams was so great at improvising. But yeah, of course, the music's absolutely amazing. Very funny movie. One of my favorite animated movies, anyways. Aladdin on Blu Ray. Next one is a favorite of mine as a kid. This is a DVD of the Apple Dumpling Gang. I used to love watching Disney live action movies from the 60s, 70s era. As a kid, I was just obsessed with these kind of movies, and this was one of my favorites I used to watch over and over again. It's basically a Western comedy. It's a mixture of Western and comedy, and yeah, it's one of my favorite of that era. Especially love Don Knotts and what's his name? Tim Conway. Yeah, Don Knotts, Tim Conway, absolutely hilarious. Loved their chemistry together. Like these bumbling idiots that are trying to rob people in the Wild West. Anyway, so I mean, it's definitely a nostalgia movie for me, but I still think it's a decent, family comedy of that time period. And actually, this is the last movie of my A's that I have. One of my favorites, Apollo 13. One of my all-time favorite movies. Great depiction of what happened, true story of the three astronauts that were, stuck in space on Apollo 13, and how they had to find a way to get them back home. Great dramatic moments. Three main actors, absolutely amazing, especially Tom Hanks, my favorite actor like of all time. Coming off of Forrest Gump, and he does this movie, and he gives another great performance. I mean, he was just on such a roll at the time, but also you got Kevin Bacon and what's his name? Bill Paxton there, really great. Gary Sinise, Ed Harris, also absolutely amazing actors, and just loved the thrill of how do we get these guys home, and all the people in NASA having to work together to pretty much solve these almost impossible solutions, and they do it, and they get them home. Spoiler alert for the movie, but one of the best dramas ever made, I think, and best movie about space, I would say. Okay, now getting to my movies in the B section of my movie list, I got Back to the Future Trilogy. This is all three. I love this booklet that I got. It has all three movies in it. And you get the poster picture there. Even's got a bonus disc also. It has some special features on it, but yeah, great. I love this whole book thing that I got for it. But a lot of great special features and audio commentaries on all three movies. And I absolutely love this trilogy. It's one of my favorite trilogies of all time. Back to the Future, the original, is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a sci-fi mixture with sci-fi and comedy, I would say, because of time travel. And I love time travel aspects of movies. I love movies that use time travel in very creative, interesting ways. And this is my favorite of that, using time travel and the idea that you make a mistake in the past and how it affects your future. I just love that concept, and they use it such a great way, of course. And Michael J. Fox and is really great as Marty McFly, and of course, what's his name? I always forget names. Christopher Lloyd's absolutely amazing as Doc. Love that character. I love their chemistry together. And like I said, it's a movie that makes me laugh, and it's a great concept, great story overall. And I love all three movies, though. All three movies are really, really great. Next, I got Batman Begins, the first of the Batman trilogy that Christopher Nolan did, I believe in 2005, with Christian Bale taking over as Batman. I did a top 10 favorite superhero list a couple weeks ago with Adam from What the Gym, and this came in, I believe, at like number 8 on my list, on my top 10. So it's a top 10 favorite superhero movie. I say it's my favorite Batman movie. I like it even better than The Dark Knight, which is kind of a hot take. I know everybody loves The Dark Knight, but I actually really love this. And I think it's the best origin story to a superhero, and really does a great job explaining how Batman becomes Batman. And you really believe it, like, and everything he has a reason and a purpose. The cape, the whole suit, the car, it all just makes a lot of sense why he has this, and ways, and his motivation. Everything works so well in this movie, and it's a great cast. I mean, you got Liam Neeson in here, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, Gary Oldman. Just a really great cast. There's a little humor in there, not as much as some of the Marvel movies, but it has some decent humor. And Christian Bale's my favorite Batman. I think he's the best one that's taken over, and it's one of the best actors working today. So yeah, I absolutely have to recommend Batman Begins if you like superhero movies. Next is another Disney classic for me, one of my favorites as a kid, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I got the Blu Ray there. Kind of basically the same people that made Mary Poppins. I mean, same director, writers, I think, and the Sherman Brothers do the music. But it's just such a great, fantasy family movie, and I absolutely loved it as a kid. I just so obsessed with watching this movie. I mean, it deals with magic, and they travel on this bed. They use this magic knob to travel around, and they even go to a cartoon world at one point, which I loved as a kid. And so it's kind of like Mary Poppins. I love how it mixes the live action actors with 2D animation. I really enjoy that whole part anyways. And just really great family films. There's some musical numbers in there. I don't think it's as good as Mary Poppins as far as music numbers go, but it's such a fun movie to watch, and still one I super enjoy. Especially love the last scene when they bring back all these medieval armors to life, and all of a sudden you got this medieval army going against the Nazis. Absolutely love that scene, and the music is really good. Next one, another favorite movie of mine, Ben-Hur, with their Charlton Heston. Movie I've been watching since I was a kid. Absolutely loved it. It's a little, I think I enjoy it so much more now, I would say, than I was a kid, because it's a 3.5 hour movie. I want to say it's one of the longest movies I have, and I've watched many times. Usually it's hard to get into one, but I watch this many times and I still get into it. I don't get bored with 3.5 hours. I think the big criticism is how long it is, but there's just one great scene after another. Obviously, the chariot scene is one of the best scenes ever. I mean, it's an absolutely amazing scene, but you also get Jesus kind of comes in and out of the story, which I really enjoy as a Christian, how they depicted Jesus and never show his face, which I actually kind of like. Gives him, I like that idea of not seeing Jesus' face. And we even get a crucifixion scene at the end, which is very emotional as a Christian. Anytime you see Jesus being crucified, of course, it always brings out emotions in me. And so I love that aspect. I love deals with anger and vengeance, forgiveness. Charlton Heston, of course, this won 11 Oscars, Best Picture, Best Actor. Charlton Heston, best performance. Really enjoy what he does here. William Wyler, one of my favorite directors. Even though it's long, I highly recommend that movie. All right, now we got Best in Show, which I talked about in Mighty Wind. And here, this was the first mockumentary that I ever saw. And I remember it came out, and I thought I didn't get it. I was like, when I saw the trailers, I was like, this doesn't look funny at all. I don't get I didn't understand that it was a mockumentary, that it was a fake documentary comedy. You know, it's such a cool concept of a comedy. It's a very niche kind of genre in comedy. I don't think you get a lot of mockumentaries. You get them every once in a while. And when they're done well, they can be absolutely hilarious. And this is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I mean, this is definitely like probably in competition for one of the best comedies ever. So funny, the different characters, and great cast, of course. Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, especially hilarious together. Also, Fred Willard is so funny when he comes in towards the end and when they do the dog show. It's all about the dog show that they do every year. Of course, you see the dogs are the best in show. And they're all coming to this dog show, and Fred Willard does some commentary on the dog show, and he's absolutely hilarious. Like, after I saw that, I was like, who's this Fred Willard guy? Because I want to see more of him. I thought he was so funny. But, you know, John Michael Higgins, Michael Hitchcock, Parker Posey is absolutely hilarious in it. Michael Keane. I mean, Jane Lynch. First time I seen Jane Lynch in a movie, and her career really kind of, you know, blossomed after that. And a lot of these people, it seems like, have. Of course, Christopher Guest directed, and written by Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy. One of the best mockumentaries I think ever made, in my opinion, along with The Mighty Wind. I got 3 movies left. This one is Best in Show. It's another William Wyler directed movie, and won Best Picture in 1946, I believe, if I remember right. And great drama about coming back from war. 3 soldiers, I guess you want to call them, from the military, coming back from World War II, and kind of shows the after effects, you know, the PTSD, the hardship of trying to come back into the world and try to, you know, make sense of it all, and the relationships. And one especially played by Harold Russell, who's not an actor, who's a real World War II vet who lost both of his hands and during the war. He comes back, and of course he has to deal with, you know, dealing with people looking at him different because he lost both of his hands and he has hooks kind of for hands. And so very emotionally powerful movie. One of the first movies that really showed like the after effects, the negative after effects of coming back from war. And I think very well. And there's a little bit of a love story. Of course, you see these two, they kind of fall in love. Dan Andrews and Teresa Ryder, absolutely great in it. So yeah, so definitely kind of almost a hidden gem, I would say, that people don't talk about, that I recommend checking out. I got the DVD because I think I had a hard time finding the Blu Ray. Here's I don't know if this is a guilty pleasure of mine or just it's somewhat of a nostalgia pick. I was a huge Jean-Claude Van Damme fan as a kid. I love martial arts movies or any movies with, you know, I love action movies, love movies where people are fighting hand-to-hand combat. And so I remember seeing this when I was a kid and just absolutely loving it. It's Bloodsport is the one I'm talking about. This is 2 movies, Bloodsport and Time Cop. I don't care for Time Cop, but I wanted Bloodsport, and unfortunately the only way I can do it is get this double feature DVD, which I usually don't like getting these. I usually like just getting the DVD of the one movie, but every once in a while it's cheaper just to get ones that have multiple movies on them, so that's this case. So I do have Time Cop, though I don't really consider it one of the movies I own, because all I care about is Bloodsport, really. And it's my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Really one of the best martial arts movies still to this day. It's a little cheesy maybe at times, but it's really great. I love the fact that they show different styles of fighting, and they have people from different countries that have different styles of fighting. It's a lot of just one-on-one tournament fighting style, which I don't like as much as like ones where multiple people are just fighting all at once, but still pretty well done. Jean-Claude Van Damme is great in the lead, and it has one of the best villains. Bolo Young is the guy's name. He plays Chung Lee, who's this big, you know, Chinese guy who's like a bodybuilder. And he doesn't talk much, but he looks intimidating, and he's one of my favorite villains because of that. And so it's kind of a, like I said, it's almost like a guilty pleasure movie. It's not a great movie as far as like Oscar worthy, but it's just a fun movie if you like seeing people beat the crap out of each other. And Bloodsport's one of the best. That's like the best name for an action movie, Bloodsport. Like Bloodsport, I'm like, that's a great name. The last movie I'm gonna talk about, the last movie I did a Blu Ray review of, is the movie Braveheart. Another movie, really one of my favorite movies of all time. There was Mel Gibson, directed and starred in as William Wallace. about, of course, famously about the Scottish gaining their independence from England. Another pretty long movie, if I remember right. It's over 3 hours. Might be another like 3.5 hour almost movie. Pretty long, epic, you know. Lots of there's one big, really big battle sequence. Of course, it's very bloody. And I said on my Blu Ray review, this was like the second R-rated movie I ever saw in my life. Anyways, and it's pretty brutal for the time period. I feel like I didn't see too many movies where people were getting their heads and limbs cut off like this one. I think you see it more nowadays with like Game of Thrones and other movies that have come out. But at the time, man, that was pretty brutal to watch. But I absolutely love the story. I thought Mel Gibson was great in the performance. A lot of other great supporting characters. The love story is great. I love the whole idea of fighting for your freedom. As an American, freedom is a huge deal, you know, and it's very important, and it's something, you know, that it's worth dying for, getting your freedom as a country. So I enjoy the patriotism of the movie, and the musical score is probably my favorite musical score of all times by James Horner. Absolutely love all the music in it. It really pushes over the top. Cinematography, absolutely beautiful. You know, Best Picture winner, 95, and Best Director for Mel Gibson. Anyway, so yeah. So that's the last movie on my list. I just want to show what I've talked about on the channel so far, give you a viewpoint, what I've done, and just love to see any comments on what you guys think of the movies I have so far, I've shown, and what are your favorites. Love to read all those and see what you guys think. Now, I think I got a lot of people who love movies that have subscribed to my channel. I think I can get some good feedback on that. Anyways, and let's see other people's collections too, and see what people have. It's always a joy talking about movies. Very passionate, something I'm very passionate about. Anyways, I love watching these physical media stuff. Anyways, I think a lot of us like to collect that are on YouTube. That's the thing we love to do, is collect things like either vinyl or DVD, Blu-rays. Anyway, so again, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for liking it. Thank you to all the subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a good day.